Good morning, everyone. We are snowed in, I guess, depending on where you're from and where you live. But what else could you do today but watch Minnie in the kitchen? So this is our first series on all the different products that we carry and some recipes. So people have been asking me how to make stuffed cabbage. In part one of my live video, I'm going to show you all the basic steps of what you need. Okay, so you'll need a beautiful head of cabbage. You'll need an onion. You need about 2 pounds of ground chuck. Where would you get that? At Jim's Meats at the West Side Market. It's 85 lean, 15% fat. I use success rice because that's minute rice and it's easy to make. You use 2 bags of that. They come like this for I am teaching women and men who have never cooked. So remember, I'm going to give you the basic guidelines of how to cook stuffed cabbage. So the rice comes like this. You're going to get a pan, fill it with water till it's covered. Drop that in. So we'll do that now. The pan looks like this. You turn your burner on high. You drop your rice in. You could use 1 to 2 bags. We let that boil while we're talking. You need some vegetable oil. At the end, you'll need 2 cans of tomato soup. And the butter that I love to use is Land O'Lakes. You're going to use 2 sticks. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing you want to do is turn your cabbage over and cut the core. Okay? So you'll make some slits. Keep turning your cabbage till you get your slits. Okay. And this is the tricky part. Gotta have some muscles. You want to pop this core out. Till it pops. Okay, I got my core taken out. I also do a couple more slits in here so that when your cabbage is in the pot, you get a big pot of water, okay? So you want to use a pot like this. Put about 4 cups of water in the bottom. Then you'll take your head of cabbage, you'll turn your burner on to high, and then you're going to let your cabbage, don't worry about the dark leaves if they're damaged or anything, because those are going to lay on the bottom of your roasting pan. Okay, so you put the cabbage in your pot, and that's going to steam for a while. So that'll be part 2 when we get the cabbage and the rice ready. I'm also going to show you what to do with your onion. So you want to cut your onion and take all the skin off. Remember, I'm showing to people if you've cooked before or not. This is a foolproof recipe that, just so you know, I'm 100% Ukrainian. And when you're born in the Ukrainian community, your mama teaches you how to make this at a very young age. So I probably was 3 or 4 when I was watching her make stuffed cabbage and learn how to make stuffed cabbage. Okay, you want to pull all the skin off. It's kind of tricky, but you use your knife and you pull all that skin right off. And then you might need a box of tissues because this is the part where you usually cry. Okay. Sorry, remember this is live, so I don't have a camera crew cleaning up behind me. All right, take your onion and on either side, just go down the middle. Put them in half like that. You start on one end and you quickly just go through. Okay, don't cut your fingers. And then you go one way and the other way. Okay. I'm going to do the other one because my eyes are already tearing. I'll do the other one in the next segment. And what you'll do now is you'll take your pan, just like this, and you fill it with oil. And you use about, you eyeball it, about that much in your pan. Then you're going to take your onions and you'll just put them right in your pan. Okay? So, shortly I'm going to go live with part 2. And you get these on your burner and you put the temperature on low so that they turn golden brown. All right? See you soon. Hope that helps. At Jim's Meats. So let's start with part 2. So earlier I told you you needed 2 pounds of ground chuck. I already have that put in my bowl. I told you I use success rice, which, just so you know, takes 10 minutes to make. You put it in a pot of water till it's covered and have it on boil till it cooks, and it'll puff out like this. Sorry, I forgot to pull my scissors out. All you do is cut the top off. Okay. And then shake the bag on top of your ground chuck. And remember, I'm using ground chuck that is 85 lean, 15% fat. Yes, everything's still hot. So you want to take your spoon and just cover it like this. Okay? Now, the other thing we worked on was our onions, right? So in the frying pan, now I usually use a wooden spoon, and during the time that my onions are cooking, I'm always stirring them. Okay, now when I go to add them in my pot, I pull them all over to the side, and I don't put all the oil in, but I dump my onions on top. So this is 1 onion. If you're using 2 heads of cabbage, then you double the order. Okay, now that I have most of my onions in, and they're caramelized, then I add the oil. The oil gives it some flavor, but I don't put all the oil in. Okay, I just put some. Okay, so that's that part. In the meantime, you had a head of cabbage boiling in your pot. And the thing that I want to mention, if the water tries to boil out, you keep adding water so that it keeps steaming. If you have a big head of cabbage, what you want to do, I always use this fork because the cabbage is really super hot, and I always use this big spoon. So what I do in the pot, I try to turn it and then poke it in the middle where that end piece is. And once you pop it like that, then you can quickly, and be careful, you will get burned with as hot as that water is. You'll put it in a dish like this so that you can start to take the leaves off. Okay, so we're going to put this to the side for a minute so I could tell you how do I season my cabbage. My mama always used Lawry's seasoning, okay? We did everything by, you know, mama's method, which is you just season it and season it. Okay, it looks like a lot of seasoning, but once we mix it, it'll be super. So we use this. We use pepper. You want to pepper everything really good. Remember, we're going to be mixing all this. And then salt, same thing. You want to salt everything real good. Okay. Then, because it is so hot, and maybe you want to get it all in your fingernails, the first thing I do is mix it with my wooden spoon. Okay? So I'll mix it this way first. And I do not cook my ground meat first, ever. It will be raw going in. The only thing that is cooked in here is the rice. I do not use raw rice either. Okay, now that I kind of mixed it, because you know the onions were hot as well, so in the oil, I don't want to burn myself. So I take everything off my wooden spoon, and then I use my hands. And you fold it. Okay? So we're going to fold all this in and mix it real good. And you know how you knew if you had the right amount of seasoning? You taste it. This is how I was taught as a little girl. We would taste the meat just like that. Little bit of meat won't hurt you, especially if you know it's fresh, right? So, I don't know, give it about 30 turns. And then I just want to taste it a little bit to see if I have the right mixture. And I do. It's nicely seasoned with the Lawry seasoning and the salt and the pepper. And that's all I do here. Okay. Then take my glove off. This will be ready to go to stuff the little pieces of cabbage leaves. All right. Now, what do we do with the cabbage? All right. So you will see once you flip him over that the leaves should be nice and steamed. And you'll see where they start. All you do is take your spoon. Okay. Try not to burn yourself. You could wait till it cools down, but it's better to use it. So what I do is I first line my roaster with the top leaves. Okay. All right. Sometimes I flip it over so that what I do is I part everything on the bottom first. And if I need my knife in here, I can use my knife to dig deeper so everything just comes apart. And then you'll use your spoon, right? And you'll line the bottom of your pan. All you have to do is cover that pan. This is nice and hot. So what I want to do is actually, I'm just going to show you how, if this was, there we go. I have to put him on his side. All right. So see how the leaves come right off? All right, so I'm going to show you how to roll the first one. It's really, really hot. I'm sure you could see the steam coming out. Those other leaves that are on the bottom, you will, you're going to leave those out. So this is a big head of cabbage, and this is how big the leaf is. So I'm just going to show you how to roll this. You first go ahead and you take a spoonful of your nice ground meat, rice, and onion mixture. You make a little semicircle, and then you're going to roll it. So what I say is we roll it like we're wrapping packages at the West Side Market. You tuck it to the left, tuck it to the right, and roll. And there you have a beautiful piece of stuffed cabbage. Then, of course, this will be all covered in leaves. You want to start to place them around in the whole pot. And so you'll make pieces like this, and you'll layer them all over your stuffed cabbage. Okay? Then do another layer. And if you only have one layer, that's okay. Then what you'll do is you got to cover these with leaves again. So once you have all your stuffed cabbage covered, you're going to take a leaf. Okay, we'll just take this one. You'll cover it like so. So I want you to pretend my whole pan is full. And I'll show you photos because you know I have photos from doing it the other day. Cover this up, put your butter on there, put another can of tomato soup. Make sure when you layer your tomato soup, after you add a can of this, you want to add a can of water. So this recipe will have 2 cans of tomato soup, 2 cans of water, and 2 sticks of butter. Then you put your lid on and you're going to bake it in your oven 350 for at least 3.5 hours to 4, depending on how much cabbage you have. Also, the way we see if it's finished is your house will start to smell like stuffed cabbage and you know it is ready. The reason it takes a while to cook is because the leaves, you want them to be so tender when you eat them that everything can be cut with a fork. And that's how you make stuffed cabbage.